Hello, I'm Roger Laws. I'm a research scientist with CSIRO in Western Australia, and we've been conducting some research into the value of fixed nitrogen to following cereal crops right around Australia. One of the questions many people ask is, how much nitrogen am I going to get from my legume crop, and how much money is that going to save me for my fertiliser bill in the following year? So what we did was we compared wheat rotations with chickpea wheat rotations or lupin wheat rotations, depending on where we are in Australia, be it in Western Australia or South Australia or Victoria or even northern New South Wales, to see how much nitrogen you could expect to be left after the legume crop, and then what that might contribute to the following cereal crop. When we looked at the economics of this, so we looked at the economic value of both the wheat crops, the two wheat crops compared to the chickpea or lupin crop and the following wheat crop, what we found was that the value of the nitrogen that might be contributed to the following wheat crop wasn't actually that great. To give you an idea, it was contributing about $16 to $20 a hectare in terms of a value proposition for nitrogen, and that difference was largely because the legume crop was often using as much of the nitrogen as it fixed. So what that meant was that the way to evaluate the economics of the system was to just look at the commodity value of the legume crop and the commodity value of the wheat crop, and that would give you an idea of what the viability of a legume-based system compared to a wheat-based system would be, based purely around the nitrogen dynamics. It's important to remember with this research that we are focusing only on the nitrogen. We weren't focusing on the disease benefits or the weed benefits that you might accrue from growing a legume crop. So in purely nitrogen terms, the legumes weren't really adding a great deal of value to the system unless you weren't able to supply nitrogen fertiliser through artificial means. In other words, if you couldn't afford fertiliser and your only way of getting into your farming system was to grow a legume crop, then that did give you some possibilities. But again, it was generally cheaper to apply nitrogen fertiliser and more profitable to do so than growing a legume crop on its own.